We're back at it, and we're working on a Wednesday. It is the 8th day of May, 2024. I'm Dan Kuntz. Thanks for starting your day with us. Pretty clear skies, just a couple of high clouds floating around up there, 45 degrees. The warm-up begins today. Yesterday, we only got to 61. Our normal high is 69. We're going to be 10 degrees warmer today as that ridge of high pressure that's been parked off the coast is going to start shifting inland. And we're going to warm up by quite a bit each day. Starting today, we'll be lower 70s today, upper 70s by Thursday, well into the 80s on Friday, close to a record high on Saturday, a little bit cooler on Sunday. I hope your air conditioning works because you're going to find out big time, especially starting tomorrow. Big warm-up is coming. We've had a long period of cool weather. In fact, most of our afternoon high temperatures for the last 10 days or so have been well below normal. Now we're going to completely invert that. We're going to be warming up. Forecast is, and I think it's one you're going to like. I'm ready for the warm weather and lots of sunshine. It's coming up. We'll have the news. Great Mariner game last night, highly entertaining. The offense, when the Mariners get going, looks pretty good, and the pitching staff needed the offensive output from the Mariners, and they pulled off a rather dramatic victory over the Twins in Minnesota last night. And Eastmont and Wenatchee, these two rivals in boys soccer, both teams are very good. They're going to do battle one more time for the, I don't know how many, the third time I guess this year. Tomorrow night at Wildcat Stadium at East Wenatchee. Eastmont won last night. They beat Moses Lake in a District 6 Big 9 play-in game. Wenatchee beat Eisenhower. So these two teams are going to do battle again to keep their playoff hopes alive, maybe go to state. We'll have highlights of Eastmont's blowout to the Moses Lake Mavericks and all the other sports stuff that you need. And in the back half of the program, he's back again. Joel Myrene, the man who organizes and puts on the Apple Valley Record Expo Saturday, May 18th, right here in the big city. If you're into records or into music or whatever the case may be, this is the place you want to be, absolutely. On the 18th day of May, 1 week from this Saturday, Joel will be my guest in the back half of the program. Whet your appetite for that. 2 minutes after the hour, let's do it. Let's take our tour around north central Washington and the Wenatchee Valley. One of the other reasons that the weather is going to be so warm, well, there's two things. Number one, of course, this big ridge of high pressure is going to come in. That's going to cook us up quite a bit. Again, from 71 to upper 70s Thursday, 80s on Friday, near 90 on Saturday. That's one reason. The other thing is the days are getting longer. We're going to have 14 hours and 50 minutes of daylight today, with the sunrise coming up at 5:32 and sunset tonight at 8:23. So those are the two things combining to really warm us up, and some significant snow melt coming up in the upper elevations. There's still quite a bit of snow up the Clockham Way in Mission Ridge and those areas as well. Let's go all the way down to just outside of Royal City, take a little sliver of the Columbia River there. This is a newer camera that was put up quite some time ago. That's a big hunk of real estate we're looking at right there. If you turn this camera around, and I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure if you take this camera, the angle that we're seeing here, and we flip it around about 180 degrees, we would be seeing Royal City. I honestly don't know, but it's still a spectacular view there. Let's see what Lake Chelan looks like. A lot of people are going to want to hop in Lake Chelan this weekend. It's cold. Now, of course, also Lake Chelan isn't filled up to the brim yet. They still got about 7 feet to go, but people are going to be enticed to go pop into the lake at Lake Chelan. That's from our Bear Mountain camera, looking up towards Holden Village and Stehekin. And finally, to the Rock, we go. Rock Island looks something like this. Almost the entire hamlet of Rock Island is in view. You can see the East Wenatchee Bench, and you can see the snow in the mountains way off in the distance, and it's going to start filling up the streams, which are going to fill up the rivers. And that means people are going to say, man, it's hot. I think I'll hop in. Well, friendly reminder, not a good idea. The warm weather is going to be nice, but all that snow melt is going to make the water temperature really, really cold. We have this slide from the National Weather Service. So it doesn't take a lot. You get really hot, you get really sweaty, the water looks good, you hop in it, before you know it, you're in serious trouble. So even if you're a really good swimmer, you can run into some serious trouble. So, just hop in somebody's pool. That might be the way to go this weekend, because it's going to be swimming pool weather. But a friendly reminder, not only is the water going to be very cold, but the area rivers and streams will be running fast because they're going to start getting a lot of snowmelt flowing into our area rivers and streams. So a little common sense never hurt anybody from the National Weather Service. How about 71 today? That's 10 degrees warmer than when we hit yesterday. Winds, not much, about 10 miles an hour out of the northwest. We like that. 48 for the overnight low. That is above normal for the overnight low tonight with clear skies. If we start bumping up, we'll be a good 7 degrees warmer on Thursday. 78, about perfect for a lot of people. Friday looks even better. Lots of sunshine, nice light breeze, nothing to worry about there. High of 83. And then we start getting borderline hot for certainly Saturday. Forecast high Saturday is 90. The record high temperature for May 11th is 92. That was set back a number of years ago. We're going to be close to it. Don't think we're going to get there. And look at the overnight low, close to 60 on Saturday night. We do it all over again on Sunday, just a little bit cooler on Sunday with a high of 86. The weather pattern for early next week, they don't really know, but the odds are favoring a slight cooling trend with maybe a little bit of rain in some locations. We're looking at nothing but sunshine right through the forecast details. As you can see, we're going to go up and then back down the temperature scale, but here it comes, an early blast of summer. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have the news for you on a Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
The family at the Epladolin want to help your loved one feel at ease in their new home environment. Epladolin offers beautiful one-bedroom and studio apartments. Residents enjoy 3 delicious home-style meals a day, laundry service, housekeeping service, and encouragement to make themselves cozy in their new home. Epladolin welcomes your family to come and visit their family. Epladolin, independent and assisted living. They make the complicated easy for you. Call today for a tour.
The Lake Chelan Rotary Club invites you to experience Cycle Chelan, held each year on the 3rd Saturday in June. Pick your thrill from 3 rides: the Metric Century Challenge, Cycle Divino, or the Lake Loop. All profits from Cycle Chelan are used to support student scholarships and other charitable activities of the Lake Chelan Rotary Club. Cycle Chelan, a route for every rider. Pick your thrill today.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Let nothing stand between you and the tree stand with this great offer on the fast, durable Kubota Sidekick. Featuring a gas-powered engine that delivers a top speed of 40 miles per hour, outstanding acceleration and handling with cargo, and a 2-year, 1,000-hour warranty. Get the Sidekick now for 0 down, 0% APR for 36 months or save $1,000.
Lots of sunshine, 43 degrees. Here in the big city, we'll be lower 70s today, mid 70s, upper 70s. We're close to a record high. Lots of sunshine coming up on, well, for the foreseeable future. But it's going to be pretty warm on Saturday and Sunday. It's 9 minutes after the hour. A 23-year-old Wenatchee man pled guilty on Monday to conspiracy to deliver cannabis to minors. Blake William Wallace sentenced to 6 months in jail for providing cartridges of cannabis vape to high school students in Kashmir and Leavenworth. The plea allows Wallace, who has previous convictions for burglary and illegal firearm possession, to avoid prosecution for delivery of a controlled substance that would have carried a much stiffer penalty. Chelan County detectives say Wallace advertised his services through his Instagram account, fulfilling orders from teenage customers who are too young to legally buy cannabis products. He has to report to the jail by May 28th. Wenatchee police on Monday were forced to babysit a unexploded shell dating from World War II. It was discovered outside the old Wenatchee Valley Fire Department on Monday. Bomb experts came out of Yakima to help get rid of the darn thing. Captain Edgar Reinfeld said about 4:15 Monday afternoon, somebody found an intact 40-millimeter anti-aircraft shell lying outside the former Wenatchee fire station, just across the street from us. A pair of gardening gloves were laid on top of the shell. An Army explosives removal team from Yakima came to dispose of the ordnance. It took them a while to do it. The shell was the same kind commonly used in anti-aircraft guns of the 1940s. Reinfeld says the incident does not appear to be a criminal act, and he said, and I'm quoting now, the important thing is somebody saw something weird and called someone right away. Well, the YMCA is going to start the process of demolishing a lot of the old buildings that used to belong to the Chelan County PUD at their old 5th Street campus. Since the PUD decided to build a new consolidated building out at Old Station a number of years ago, Chelan County PUD commissioners have brainstormed a way to utilize the former campus. On Monday, commissioners reviewed a plan to turn the property into a downtown business sector. The YMCA will be the first business to set up shop on that campus through demolition. Demolition is going to begin shortly, but the YMCA still has to raise about $5 million before they can actually begin construction. So one thing is being torn down, something else is being built up. The Wenatchee Convention Center, the groundbreaking ceremony for the launch of the new Wenatchee Convention Center expansion project took place on Monday in the outdoor plaza at the center. It's a $16 million project. It's going to take an estimated 15 months. We caught up with Mayor Mike Poyer at the ceremony to see how he was feeling with the launch of the project and how confident he is about sticking to the 15-month timeline.
To me, the groundbreaking experience today for May 6th, right? It's 15 months it'll be completion. What's nice about this is that the city's just to put it all together, because this is lodging tax money, and so it's from people that have been staying at the hotels over years, and this is what all the hoteliers wanted, and so we just facilitate this to work. So this is an exciting moment for us, and it's going to bring in more businesses. It's going to be definitely a financial impact for us in the future. So yeah, this is a great experience. It started in 2018 because of COVID. We kind of stopped, but this is it for us this time. Yeah. We believe this is, it's hard to stay on it, but we believe we got the right contractor to do this. And Alyssa Schaefer, our project manager for the city, she really is competent, and she will get this to complete. It's an important thing for our city council because we're promising this date. So it's very important. Things can change, but I believe this will happen in 15 months, and we'll be celebrating soon.
The Wenatchee City Pool is set to reopen. They're going to have a formal dedication ceremony of the new pool on May 22nd at 5 o'clock. The pool was first built back in 1965 with some minor renovations have gone off and on since then, but it was in 2022 when the City of Wenatchee officially applied for the State Department of Commerce grant to fund a renovation. They got the money. The pool company out of Tacoma selected for the construction, and the Schemata workshop was selected to engineer it. Construction began last July. It's a $2 million project, and it's now almost done. Mayor Mike Poyer, State Senator Brad Hawkins, and other local representatives will speak at the reopening ceremony and then a ceremonial first dip in the pool. And finally, on this Wednesday, poetry is something all of us carry inside of us, but we don't always find a way to express our poetry. Well, Mary Smith does. She's an Eastman High School graduate. She now lives in Spokane. She found her voice, and it's led her all the way to the distinguished post of Spokane's Poet Laureate. Mary will be guiding a set of poetry workshops through NCW libraries this Friday and this Saturday. She spoke about the event via Zoom with her very own Jefferson Robbins.
Really, the role of Poet Laureate in any case, because we have a Washington State Poet Laureate, much like we have a nation's Poet Laureate. Everyone is going to have their own sort of mission statement around that, and really the role is sort of in general to bring awareness and accessibility to poetry. For me in particular, what I've wanted to do is to bring poetry into spaces that we wouldn't normally consider poetic. I've specifically been targeting areas and communities that we wouldn't think of as poetry influenced. treatment centers, women and children homes, a lot of recovery-based areas, and then elementary schools, middle schools, bringing those workshops that I created into those places and saying, even if you don't consider or think of yourself as a poet or as a writer or even as someone who would say, I'm creative, I would challenge that and say, I think you are. You're a living, breathing being, so therefore, in my eyes, in my experience, you are a creative.
What can people expect from your workshops? I mean, what kind of inputs or exercises might they gain?
When people come and they're going to bear their heart and soul in these workshops, because that's really what they are intended and created to be, is a time to share and to be part of at a level that we don't necessarily get inside a regular sort of classroom or workshop setting. The other thing that people can expect is to generate writing, and that comes from not being a skilled, proficient poetry student, but just being in the room. You will get an opportunity to write and generate new work and maybe surprise yourself. I think a lot of people have left my workshops feeling surprised by the fact that they made something and that it connected with somebody else in the room.
And that's what's making news on this Wednesday. If you're interested in what's going on around here, we fill the bill with the newscast tonight at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. The NCW Life Evening News. If you consume your news via the World Wide Web, and it turns out a lot of you do, our news will be up and running on our Facebook page, our YouTube page, on our homepage, ncwlife.com. And if you haven't downloaded our app yet, you are invited to do so right now. Pick up your smartphone and QR away. And if there's something out there that you think warrants our attention, you get a hold of us. Send us an email. Best way to go about doing it, news@ncwlife.com. Mariners win. A lot of winning going on last night. Sports is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
My name is Anna Marie. I've lived at Prestige here for 6.5 years, and I love it. They just made you feel so welcome. I love my room. I get 3 meals a day, do as I darn well want to. I've loved it ever since I moved in.
Mom's a wonderful, wonderful lady. She deserved the very best, and I got it for her here at Prestige.
60 years ago, we opened up the first Abby's right here where I'm sitting.
All I wanted is people to show up.
We were trying to build pizza eaters is what we were trying to do, and it worked. We were very successful, and we were very happy about it.
Every day is Taco Tuesday at Abby's. Our Taco Especial is on sale 7 days a week, loaded with beef or chicken, onions, olives, tomatoes, cheddar cheese, and lettuce. It's a pizza that you won't forget. Dine in or order online for takeout or delivery right to your door.
I chose Pinnacles because they give you a lot of opportunities for really fun field trips and activities.
It's a smaller school, so you feel more connected to other people.
My favorite thing about Pinnacles is definitely how we got to choose our elective.
I learn at my own speed. It's a place where people can be who they want to be, and they show that by using their epic values.
We choose Pinnacles because the staff is accepting.
Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Pybus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings, the fabulous Farmers Market, Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Pybus Market. Pybus Market, where community meets.
19 minutes after the hour, Josh Rojas and Ty France each had critical RBI base hits in the 9th inning. The Mariners scored 4 runs in the 9th inning, and they beat the Twins 10-6 last night. Cal Raleigh connecting for a pinch hit grand slam in the 7th for the Mariners, who have won 3 of 4.
Here's the payoff. A high rising drive. This is blasted out of here. We'll have to fix that chart now. And the payoff pitch, ground ball to the right side. France will backhand the race to first. He dives and he's safe. And Saucedo is down. Saucedo is down. The ball is live and Kepler scores. Saucedo got hurt covering first base as Martin dove in safely.
Moore lifts this out to Martin in left field. It continues to carry. Martin leaps and it's off the wall. Dylan Moore in at second base. He keeps running. That ball dies out there about medium depth left. And Dylan Moore's got a wall ball triple to set the table. The 0-1. Into center field for a base hit. Dylan Moore comes down and scores, and Josh Rojas gives the Mariners the lead in the top of the 9th inning. Haniger deep fly out to right field. This is carrying way back on the track. Kepler with plenty of room to make the catch. Cal Raleigh comes home on a sacrifice fly off the bat of Mitch Haniger. 2 outs, 2 in scoring position. Out of the glove, Rojas sprints home. Jeffers underhand flip, and Rojas is safe. He got home that time. It's a 3-run lead. France plugs this out to left field, dropping quickly, touches down, base hit. Julio is in to score. The Mariners keep pouring it on here in the 9th inning. Ty France with an RBI single. It's a 10 spot for the Mariners tonight. Well, that's how it ends tonight. It was a back and forth seesaw kind of game, and the Mariners put 10 runs across thanks in part to that man and a pinch hit grand slam, and they take game 2.
How about that grand slam, by the way? Over 440 feet. Cal coming off the bench, but a lot of really good at-bats up and down the lineup, especially late in this game, to pull out the win.
After the game, Cal Raleigh told Root Sports all about his first career grand slam.
Yeah, initially I was just getting ready, to hit lefty, and, obviously knew it was a possibility with the lefty warming up that we're going to make a switch. So just trying to stay ready, stay within my approach, trying to slow the game down. I think it's the biggest thing in those moments. Everybody wants to speed up, and the game can really get away from me if you let it. So, just try to slow it down as much as I could.
It's been pretty obvious to see. That's now 5 home runs from you batting right-handed. It's more than you've ever had in a single season, and it's very early on this year. What do you attribute that to?
Getting at-bats. It's hard to get in a rhythm when you're not getting at-bats, especially for a switch hitter from either side. And, the goal is to win games up here, so I get it. But, to be in a little bit of a routine and to be in that rhythm is nice to have.
Manager Scott Service said it was nice that the offense gave his pitching staff some much-needed run support.
Some of these points, you're going to have to find a way to score a bunch of runs to pick up your pitching, and we did that tonight. I think we talked for a while. At some point, we're going to score 10 runs to win a game, and we did. We needed to score them all tonight, but great job offensively. Guys hanging in there. Huge pinch hit. Homer by Cal. He continues to stay really hot in those moments. Rojas, good game. Demo, a couple big hits. Number of guys up and down the lineup contributing, putting the big innings together. That's how you win. You got to put crooked numbers up there. We're able to do that late in the game tonight. I thought, bullpen. I had to go to it early tonight. The guys hung in there. The Twins are scrappy. They find a way to create traffic, put pressure on you. But we had enough. Unfortunately, Sauce went down on the crazy play at first base. He's going to be out for a little while. A little bit of a knee issue there. We'll get some imaging on that, but we're going to miss him. Sauce has been so valuable for us, kind of in that utility role, left-handed, and his personality on top of it. But he'll be back. He's just going to be out for a little bit, so obviously we'll make a few roster moves here, looking at what we got lined up for tomorrow. But really happy with our offense tonight.
Mariner right-hander George Kirby will get the baseball tonight for Game 3 of the 4-game series. Minnesota will go with righty Chris Paddock. First pitch is at 4:40 on Root Sports. Well, the Mariners' win kept pace with the Rangers. In the AL West, Texas clobbered Oakland 15-8. That's 4 in a row now for the Rangers. The Angels crushing the Pirates, the Yankees, no problems, dispatching the Astros. Well, when Moses Lake upset Eastmont 2-1 last month in soccer, the Leon brothers were not in the lineup. Last night they were in the lineup, and Aaron Leon proved once again while he is the defending Big 9 Player of the Year, he posted a double hat trick. The Wildcats crushing the Mavericks 9-1 last night in District 6 Big 9 play-in game. Sebastian Moraga and Matt Wisen had the call right here on the NCW Left channel.
Flynn, double team. Flynn hits the Jets. Shot across. Who's there? Oh, good move. Lasso! What a move by Aaron Leon. Giancarlo, far post for Aaron Leon. This could be interesting. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. What an unfortunate touch. It looked like it was Mose trying to defend it, and instead it tapped it into his own goal. Wiltbank. Edgar prevailing. Sailing past one. Trying for two. There's Flynn inside the box. Shot across. Golazo! Golazo! Angel Ortega for Eastmont. 3-0. Leon with some space on the left side. Leon turns to the right. Chipper inside the box. The shot. No doubter. Aaron Leon with his second personal tally makes it 4-0 Eastmont. Pefferman can't quite get there. Shot across. Pefferman. And see what the referee calls. Penalty. 35th minute of play. Left-footed shot. And almost had it, but what an effort by Arredondo, but an even more impressive effort by Joshua Zamora. But now it lands at the feet of Edgar Leon. The shot, Edgar Leon, it bounces off, and Aaron has a hat trick. It bounced off the hands of Friedig, and Aaron Leon was there to tap it in. Valencia trying to get past the mark of Arreola. The shot across, and what a touch! What a touch! Good combination by Valencia finding Leon. Edgar this time, and a fancy little celebration is in the making, I think. There's an H, a P, an M. They're out of order here. Prom, yeah, H, prom. Somebody got asked to prom just now, I think. That would be my guess. Oh boy, the throw-in by Edgar Leon. Inside the box for Aaron, right-footed shot, no doubter. And alternatives, the quick run. Inside the box, Aaron Leon. Aaron, the shot, no doubter. And it's 8-1 Eastmont. Edgar. Far post, header, and the stop, and the shot. And that makes it, let's count them. Yep, 6 goals for Mr. Aaron Leon. What happened? How did you play such a brilliant game? What happened today?
So it was just starting with the team. It was we did in practice. We touched, keep the ball moving, and those goals were all team goals. I just stayed calm, cool, and collective on the top, and the goals came naturally.
And the question everybody wants to know, did she say yes?
Hopefully. I hope she did. And, well, if she didn't, then, oh well, it's all right, you know.
That was in East Wenatchee, across the river in Wenatchee. It was a very dramatic game with Anthony Garcia Mendoza scoring the game winner in overtime as the Panthers pulled out the 4-3 victory over Eisenhower. That was the other District 6 Big 9 playing game. All 7 goals, by the way, were scored in the second half. So take a look at what we have here. It'll be Wenatchee and Eastmont. Winner stays alive, loser goes home. We'll have that for you tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at Wildcat Stadium. Number 1 seeded Davis will take on Sunnyside for the championship, also on Thursday night. In the District 6 playoffs at the Apple Bowl tonight, it is Bridgeport against Quincy, a loser-out game, and the winner continues. It says there, Cashmere taking on Cascade for the championship. That's not correct. That's actually the semi-finals tonight. The winner of Cashmere and Cascade will move on to the championship game. Whoever plays in the championship game, win or lose, will go to state. All right, to prep baseball we go. Sela stays alive for a chance to go to state. They knocked off East Valley 5-4, and Ellensburg punches their ticket to state. They beat Othello 11-10, so they're off to the state tournament. In the Big 9 district play-in games for the Wenatchee Panthers, their season is over. They lost to West Valley and Yakima. The final there was 8-2. Davis crushed Sunnyside 11-1 to keep their season alive. That's the big schools. The smaller schools, Liberty Bell beat Okanagan 10-0, and Brewster beat Manson 8-2 there, and Moses Lake Christian moves on to state with a victory. And finally, Prep fast pitch softball. Fast pitch softball is about the only sport that still is playing regular season games. Wenatchee crushed Sunnyside 30-5. Cashmere remains unbeaten. They beat Chelan 21-4. Brewster crushed Liberty Bell, and Tenasket over Bridgeport. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. At the bottom of the hour, today's obscure holiday is for all you people who have to work the overnight shift. I had it in my early years in radio. You had to do that. Radio back in the day, of course, was 24/7. There was no automation. They didn't just lock the doors and go home at 6 o'clock. You worked the midnight shift or the overnight shift or the swing shift or the third shift or whatever have you. And it's they deserve. And there's a lot of professions that require that it's always open. Hospitals, obviously, healthcare, both doctors and nurses. Bakeries, they have those overnight shifts. Law enforcement, they don't get the day off. Riverside, of course, they got dispatchers 24/7, 365. Security, nursing homes, prisons, transportation, pilots and truck drivers, and what have you. Customer service centers, warehouses. A lot of the real heavy work gets done in the midnight shift. We don't have to worry about anybody getting in their way. So for all of you people who have to work the dreaded overnight shift or swing shift or third shift, whatever you want to call it, today is for you. Try and stay awake. It really screws up your body clock. It's 31 minutes after the hour. Today in history. In Martinique in the Caribbean, 122 years ago today, March 8th, 1902, Mount Pelée erupted. Blew up. Boom. They kind of knew it was coming. It was getting a little unsettled for a few days. Unfortunately, for the people who lived in and around the volcano, they all went to the village of St. Pierre, figuring it was safe. That's going to be the safe spot from the volcano. If this thing actually erupts, St. Pierre is where everybody needs to be. So St. Pierre was flooded with people. Not a good move, because St. Pierre was essentially wiped off the map. About 28,000 people were killed when the mountain erupted. It remains, it's the deadliest volcanic eruption of the 20th century. It killed 28,000 people, maybe even 30,000 people. Only a handful of residents in the general area of the volcano survived. And the people who died, the 30,000 people who died when Mount Pelée erupted on this date in 1902, they burned to death. It was that bad. That happened on this date 122 years ago today. Take a look at this picture of Fenway Park. You're going to look at that. Well, this is how Fenway Park looked before May the 8th, 1926. There's the famed green monster of Fenway Park. Well, you see the bleachers in front of Fenway Park. They burned to the ground on this date 98 years ago today, May 28th, 1926. Those bleachers that you see in front of the green monster burned down. But Boston, the Red Sox, had no money, like no dough. They were barely making payroll. So they got the insurance money. Instead of rebuilding the bleachers, they just used it for general operating costs, and they never bothered to rebuild the bleachers. Fenway Park is an easy park for right-hand hitters to hit home runs. Think about how easier it was when they had bleachers there. Well, after this date, 1926, they didn't have bleachers anymore. 44 years ago today, the World Health Organization confirms smallpox is eradicated. It's done. This was big. A third of all the people who contracted smallpox, adults, would die of smallpox, and nearly half of all infants who contracted smallpox were killed by smallpox. But they eradicated it because of vaccines on this date in 1980, a huge medical breakthrough. And finally, everybody saw this one coming. We boycotted the 1980 Moscow Olympics because they invaded Afghanistan. Everybody knew that when Los Angeles hosted the 1984 Summer Olympics, that the Soviet Union and the Eastern Bloc countries wouldn't come. And sure enough, on this date, saying it's not safe for athletes to be in Los Angeles, the Soviet Union and 14 other Eastern Bloc countries said, we're not coming to LA. But China did. So there's that. Let's do birthdays. We always do presidents. The last president to visit Wenatchee, Harry Truman. He was campaigning for Adlai Stevenson, who was running for the presidency. He came to the Wenatchee Valley and spoke from the back of a train on October 2nd, 1952. Harry Truman, the 33rd president of the United States, born in the state in 1884, the last president to visit the Wenatchee Valley. The only person ever to use a nuclear weapon in combat. He, of course, desegregated the United States Armed Forces. He supported Israel, the United Nations, the only president of the 20th century who did not graduate from college. When he left office in January of 1953, his approval rating was 22%, the lowest ever. And now most historians agree he was one of the greatest presidents we ever had. And his mother-in-law never cared for Harry. He thought that Bess Truman, Harry Truman's wife, could have done better than marrying Harry Truman. And she was an old daughter of the Confederacy, and whenever Bess Truman's mother visited Harry and Bess in Washington, D.C., you always supposed to sleep at the Lincoln bedroom. That's the guest bedroom at the White House. She refused. She said, Harry, we never much cared for Abe Lincoln, where I come from. Harry Truman, born in the state in 1884. Mr. Warp's Don Rickles would have been 98 years old today. We lost Don a number of years ago, but he's still funny. Don Rickles, the legendary Don Rickles, and the legendary Rick Nelson. We miss Rick Nelson, born in the state in 1940. His song Poor Little Fool was the very first #1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100. Special thanks to our sponsors. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Is your air conditioning going to work? You're going to find out real quick this weekend, because it's going to get hot. So before it gets real hot, for heat and air, call Alpine Air. Special thanks to our friends at Pool Spa Services on Worthen Street. You'll be thinking about getting a swimming pool, I think. I wouldn't be surprised. And special thanks to our friends at Prestige Senior Living at Colonial Vista. Still to come, an opinion from Mike Mad Dog McNaughty. You've never seen it because we have never aired it. Mike McNaughty with a brand new opinion, and then Joel Myrene, my guest, who is putting on for the third time the Apple Valley Record Expo 1 week from Saturday. Joel will be joining me when we come back. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
It's a great time to go into the medical profession. And this is the perfect place to start, because this is going to provide you that basic understanding in order to get into medical school, physical therapy school. So when you are ready to head on your career pathway, wherever it is, then you've already had some experience and say, oh, it's so cool. This is exactly what I want to do. So really, you're going to leave me with 13 college credits and a license with the state of Washington.
Most of us are in touch with the internet in one way or another all day long. A fast, secure connection matters. It keeps us entertained, informed, and in touch. Locatel cares about your connection. We know strong, reliable internet with your choice of speed makes life better. If you need fast, reliable internet, or maybe an upgrade, or you just have questions, connect with us by visiting locatel.com or call 509-888-8888 today.
This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I was recently watching a cop show on TV. It was the LA cops. They were investigating a murder. And apparently the victim had ordered a pizza and had been killed by the delivery person. The murderer killed the delivery person, yada, yada. Okay, but the delivery person, after the murder, then helped themselves to a slice after killing the guy. Now, the very astute cop said, oh, the suspect is from the East Coast. And the other cop asked how she knew that. And this very knowledgeable detective said, because he folded his slice of pizza. Yeah, that's how we do it. Of course, you West Coasters, first of all, you have no idea what real pizza is. And secondly, you don't need to fold your pizza since it's as stiff as cardboard. This is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and that's my opinion.
Hey man, how's your arm?
Getting better, actually, thanks.
Did they give you anything for pain after surgery? Because I think I may have some left over.
Nah, that's all right, man. Actually, me and my doctor talked about not sharing prescriptions, and that ibuprofen's a good option for me. The risk of addiction, it's not worth it.
Makes sense.
Take the next step. Don't share your prescriptions, and talk to your friends about the dangers of opioids.
Global Car Care has the best customer service in the Valley. From the moment you walk in the door, their goal is to help you stay on the road, so you can keep doing what's important to you. Global Car Care certified ASE mechanics stand behind your automotive repairs.
Welcome back to the program. Attention all vinyl junkies. You know it's coming. If you don't know, you're about ready to find out. The third annual Apple Valley Record Expo is almost upon us. It's going to be the 18th day of May. Joel Myrene is the guy who puts it on. He's no stranger to this show. Third appearance, right? You've done one for each of our deal. Great story. I met Joel. Did an interview a couple of years ago up at Walla Walla Point Park. And you came up to me afterwards with the kids and said, hey, I heard you're into records, and yeah, I'm kind of into records. I have a couple, and we kind of got together on that. This is the third one. Yep. The only one though this year.
Yes.
You did one last year in 2023. You did one in May and in November. The May one was a good start because you don't know what you're doing, and is anybody going to show up? People did.
Yeah.
I went to the May one. It was very well attended. I went to the November one. It was very well attended last November, and I picked up some pretty good vinyl along the way. But you're only doing one this year. Why is that?
It's a lot of work to put this on. It's less work this year now that I have the kind of groundwork laid out, but it's a time issue kind of with full-time job, family, and just trying to have a good family balance. But I think the demand would definitely be there for record buyers and vendors, but just trying to keep it to one to just make it as big as possible, for now.
And it's gone really well, or you wouldn't be doing this again.
Yeah, it has gone well. So I'm excited for just doing it once this year. How the turnout's going to be for that. So
what do you hear from your vendors? We'll go with last November because that one was really good. Obviously, when it's all said and done, you're talking to the folks who rented out table space to sell their vinyl. What did you hear from them?
A lot of the vendors from the fall show were returners from the spring show, and then we have some kind of three-peat people vendors. So they were happy with their sales and everything too. So we do have a lot of returners, and I also have been kind of hitting the ground trying to get a lot of new vendors, which we have from Western Washington, as far as Missoula, Montana. We have a record store coming, and then I think touching into Northern Oregon. So
when we throw the poster up, and we're going to do that in just a little bit, you'll notice to rent table space, do this. That's kind of you can't do that anymore. Are you sold out?
Yeah, the vendor spots for this year's show are sold out. We are doing a wait list, so you can contact me on Facebook or Instagram via message, and I can put you on the wait list. But spots got full about 6 weeks ago or so. Yeah,
that's a nice problem to have.
It is.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it is a very nice problem to have. Yeah.
Do you make? I know this is a stupid question. Do you make money on this, or is this just kind of a labor of love?
It's kind of a labor of love. It does not lose money. Okay. So it essentially any money that's above the operating expenses, I just kind of throw back into it. So yeah, it's you could not support a family by doing this.
You've been doing a lot of research since last November. You've been traveling around Western Washington, all over the place, really, checking out other independent record stores, other record expos, and picking up little tips and stuff like that?
Yeah, just kind of seeing, because last year, to be completely honest, I had never been to a record show before putting this on, and, started kind of going out and doing that. Record shows are pretty straightforward. There's not a whole lot to them. I was just kind of went there to see what other people are doing, get some more ideas, too, for, maybe next year we'll have somebody spinning records, a DJ. I'll be spinning records anyway, but
you did a good job last year.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just visiting those shows to talk to vendors, to drum up interest, just kind of getting the name out there, and visiting a lot of record stores. Yeah.
And who's kidding who? Since you're running it, you get first crack at like the really cool vinyl, right? I mean,
I know.
When the vendors are setting up, you're going, "Hey, Bob, how much for that?"
If there's time, it is true. I would get first crack at it, but it's a little hectic right before it opens, so it's kind of like I want to run over to the tables to check things out, but at the same time, you have to make sure everything's flowing pretty smoothly too.
And there hasn't been any really significant hiccups at all.
No, it's gone pretty well. I didn't know what to expect. I had, I think, probably too many extra helpers, volunteers at the first one, and I realized, I just wanted to be safe to make sure I, had all the help I needed, and yeah, it's gone quite well, thankfully.
There are some new things this year, and some of the old stuff. I'll start out by saying, right off the top, if you're willing to fork over $5, and it's worth $5 for early admission, you get in the door, because it actually opens at 11, right?
It does, 11 to 4 p.m. Free
on the 18th of May. But if you're willing to fork over $5, you can get in as early as 10.
Yep. Yeah, and going in at 10, it really gives you first crack at records, which is great for, serious collectors or just collectors that want to, have the best selection. It also really helps keep this thing going too, help support the expo.
Well, that's what I did last year. Me and my good friend Tucker, we forked over the $5 at 10 o'clock, and I'm glad I did. I got some great stuff, some stuff I was looking for a long time. I also had a chance to replace about 3 albums that went to album heaven somewhere along the way in my 59 years of living, and I was able to find replacement copies for those. All genres, pretty much, right?
Yeah, I think all genres. That's one of the things I was hoping for with previous expos too, just to get well-rounded, whether it's like classic rock, 60s garage, to like even, like punk, garage rock, hip hop, all that kind of stuff. Yep.
You mentioned you really don't have enough time to go from table to table, but did you notice that some of the vendors just take a bunch of records and stick them in boxes and go at it? And others, I've noticed, and I noticed this especially in November, they take a great deal of care in how they present their records and how they're displayed, and they're willing to answer any kind of questions you may have. Can I take it out of the sleeve and look at the condition, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's a mix. You'll have a lot of people with their tables are just full, and so it might take more time to go through it, and maybe those aren't the high dollar records, whereas like you'll find the more curated tables, maybe they have only 3 boxes on the whole table, but those are going to be very high quality records typically.
And that's where I got my vinyl. I bought, I don't know, 6 records last November. I only bought 2 in May. In the November one, I bought like 6 or 7 records. I went way past my budget, but I'm glad I did. Let's go back in time just a little bit. The whole impetus of this, was it just that vinyl is having a resurgence? Your interest in it, you had enough people in your social media circle that you thought maybe you could have a go of making this happen in little old Wenatchee town?
Yeah, it kind of started, we used to go to shows at the Oddfellows Hall years and years ago in the late 90s, and I used to put on shows there, and just talking to a friend about that. We were both record collectors, and a couple days later I just got to thinking, like, there's no record stores here, heck, why don't I just, do this at the Oddfellows Hall and make a 2-story record store for the day, in Wenatchee. So,
and maybe it's indicative of the renaissance and revival of vinyl records, is that you can buy records at Target and Walmart now, and you couldn't do that 5 years ago.
Yeah, and they will have newer releases or some kind of compilations of best ofs, but and it's nice to have that selection a little bit. But they're the closest thing to a record store here is Ellensburg, probably Spokane, Seattle. So to have it, this giant, get together of people for a day is just, that's the goal. So
and keep in mind, for fans of pure analog sound, that you are going to get with a stylus and a turntable and hopefully a nice receiver and good speakers and a good turntable and a good stylus. If you're buying a vinyl record at Target or Walmart or whatever it is, they're vinyl records, but the source material is almost certainly going to be digital.
It is.
It's as simple as that. You might as well just download it.
And sometimes those repressings or reproductions, they come from digital masters, and
you don't want that.
It just, sometimes I think the best sounding pressings are those 1960s and 70s pressings that were mastered for vinyl and pressed.
They were cut that way. That's the way the mother was cut, and most importantly, the quality of the vinyl was very high in the 60s and 70s before the petroleum crisis and the energy crisis in 73 and 74. Then they started making vinyl records with recycled stuff. It just wasn't the real deal.
Yeah.
And you can tell.
Yeah, yeah. I have some pressings from the 90s from a lot of garage rock stuff and rock and roll stuff. And some of that, it sounds so bad.
Yeah.
But, I love the music, but some of those pressings I have from the 90s are just awful. They're almost unlistenable.
Real collectors will tell you, and I'm one of them, any German or Japanese vinyl pressing that you can find is going to be worth it because they take great care in the mastering process, and you're going to get true analog regardless of when it was made. Japanese and German pressings, as you mentioned before, the U.S. pressings from the 60s and 70s are pretty good as well. New stuff this year.
Yeah,
you have a new album featured. You did this last November, right?
Yeah. So every record expo we try to have a featured record with local ties, and this year it is this album. I think it's Broken by Not All There, who's a local Wenatchee band of 26 years. So they have to be very close to being the longest running band in Wenatchee. I think Kevin Jones' band though has been around for 30 years or so. But
I don't know why Kevin just doesn't move to Wenatchee. He just won't do it.
Yeah, they will have this album for sale for $20 at the expo table.
How many copies of this exist?
I think there's about 200 copies of that.
So you might be out of luck if you show up at 1 o'clock on the 18th and want a
Hopefully,
copy
if
of
all
this.
goes well for this band, we'll sell a lot of those. But earlier the better to get availability for that.
Where was this recorded at?
That was recorded in East Wenatchee, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, at a studio. A lot of local musicians had gone there. I'm kind of spacing on the name of the. Chad Yenny is, I think, recorded this, if I remember right. He has since moved though, so a lot of local bands are going to have to find a new place to record. But yeah, he did a great job with this album.
And Joel has written an autobiography, which is also available for you to check out.
So we have a featured book, and it's actually compiled by two of the members of Not All There, the band, and by Dustin Hayes and Matt Smith. It's a compilation of 1990s Wenatchee music scene. So it's got posters, pictures, writings, kind of history of some bands, and it all kind of ties together because, the record expo is at the Oddfellows Hall. There's a lot of posters and pictures from the Oddfellows Hall from the 90s from shows there, where also Not All There played. So it kind of comes full circle.
A lot of fond memories of Saturday nights at the Franklin House.
Yes, a lot of
for
Franklin
me
House.
That I don't really remember anymore, but I was young and I was, that kind of. This is a fascinating book.
It's great.
This is also going to be for sale.
Yeah, that's on its second printing, I think, and that's for sale for $20 at the expo table. Yep.
Do you think the success of this expo is kind of opened up maybe some younger musicians to maybe take their hobby a little more seriously and
I hope so.
make a go of it?
Yeah, I mean, the hope is that, I know vinyl has caught on with younger people, and the hope is that, they take the record home, they pull out the liner and the sleeve, and they read the notes, and they look at it, and it kind of sparks an interest in them to, maybe pick up that instrument more and play and start a band and see that you can do this, and yeah.
A couple of things, because people are going to ask me, so I'm going to ask you. Folks are going to, and I saw this last year. I didn't see it too much in May. I saw a lot of it last November at the second Apple Valley Vinyl. People were bringing in their own records and asking for expert analysis on what is this worth. Is that really not encouraged? I mean, these guys are trying to sell, and women are trying to sell their stuff. Is it?
Yeah, I have. Sometimes people contact me and see if they can bring records down
to have them appraised.
Yeah,
and I saw that last year.
Yeah, and sometimes, if I have time, I can eyeball stuff and look it up on a website called Discogs. Discogs.com is a great resource for that. I've had a few people that wanted to sell their collections just to see if we had buyers there, and some of the vendors there are buyers. So in theory, if you had a small enough collection, just maybe get a hold of me ahead of time, or I can point you in the right direction. Yeah.
I used to get the call all the time, Aunt Ginny passed away and she's got 600 records, what are they worth? And I got tired of it after a while. I mean, it was flattering, but I got tired of it after a while, and I was sending everybody to Discogs or eBay, because basically the value of anything thing is what you can get for it, I suppose. So if yeah, there will be people who are going to understand the value of some records, but these people are also businessmen, so show a little common sense. May 18th at the IOOOOOOF Hall, right?
Yep.
How many extra O's did I throw in there? Walk me through the poster right there, buddy.
Yeah, so Saturday, May 18th, it is $5 admission, 10 a.m., early admission, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., but free after that, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Beverages and food?
Yep. We have Aloha Dreams Mobile Espresso. They're going to be serving up espresso and treats to everyone, and they'll be downstairs in the hall.
A couple of things. There's no central cashier. You're going to be doing one-on-one with the various vendors. So it's a good idea just to bring cash. That's what I discovered. I mean, a lot of these will have the little card in the phone kind of a thing, which I'm a little leery of. Anyway, just bring cash. That's what I did last year.
Yeah, and some people will have Square, Venmo, and stuff, and I have all that too. But to be safe, most vendors, I mean, every vendor is going to accept cash. Yeah. Yep.
I am looking forward to it. Again, it is May 18th at the IOOOOOOO. You know where it is. It's down the road from here. Doors open at 11. Early birds, you get in for $5. You get in at 10. Do we cover everything? Do we get everything in there?
I think so. I think one thing I'm bringing back is a listening station. So I'll have that. Now that I've said that, I kind of have to do it. But it was suggested I bring that back. So I'll have it downstairs somewhere. So if you see a record, you want to check the quality or just listen to it briefly before you buy it, I'll have a listening station set up, kind of like a record store. So.
Yeah, and I bought all the records that I bought both in May and especially in November. They had no problems with you examining the actual vinyl itself, taking it out of the sleeve and holding it up to the light and looking for nicks and pops and dust and that. They didn't have any problems with that. Yeah, I scored Buffalo Springfield, the 2-record retrospect from '73, which I had and lost. Now I got it. And it's a great kid. Chuck Berry's St. Louis to Liverpool record, which I've been looking for years. One of the great rock and roll records. It was in almost mint condition.
Wow.
And you can't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
And I got that for a really good deal. Niels Lofgren's first solo album, which I'd lost years ago, and I finally got that one back. So it was that I went down and spent a lot of money on that Saturday, and then I spent the next 3 days listening to music.
Nice.
Which I do anyway. So there you go. Joel Myring, they have a Facebook page, Apple Valley Record Expo. Just type it in the Facebook search bar, and you're good to go. There you go. One more time. I will see you Saturday, May 18th at 9:59 in the morning.
Yep. Yeah, and if I could just give a shout out to our sponsors
Please
too.
do. Oh yeah, go right ahead.
Comet Magazine's been a huge sponsor.
Thank you, Ron.
Yep. And
thank you, sponsor.
The Time Capsule Shop in downtown Wenatchee.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. They have a great shop downtown, and everyone should check that shop out. And Road Trip Records out of Ellensburg, and Mark Pickerel, that's his shop in Ellensburg, or his he has locations at various places in Ellensburg, and he's the drummer from the Screaming Trees, and that's kind of his brand.
One last thing, and I cannot forget this, and I was surprised to see this. Not just vinyl. You'll see people selling vintage reel-to-reel, and one guy was selling laser discs, 45 RPMs, weird kind of box sets, imports, all kinds of interesting things. Not just records.
Different formats for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So check it out. Joel, have a good day.
Thank you.
All right,
thanks for having me on.
You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
The Lake Chelan Chamber of Commerce presents The Magic of Manson.
Welcome to Navarre Coulee Tasting Room in downtown Manson. You're invited to stop by, relax, and enjoy a sample of our longer-aged wines. You will taste the difference from the very first sip.
Tipsy Canyon is proud to introduce their latest lineup of new wines. The Garvins will make you feel right at home as spring unfolds across the Chelan Valley. Come up to the Manson Hills and experience the magic for yourself.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether, we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Well, after an extended period, a week, maybe even 10 days of seeing our afternoon high temperatures below normal, oftentimes well below normal. We're going the other way, and it starts today. The big warm up with the ridge of high pressure beginning to inch its way over north central Washington. Your forecast calls for sunshine today. Nice light breeze, about 71 for the afternoon high, 48 for the overnight low tonight. No real wind at all to speak of Thursday. In fact, Thursday and Friday, if you like it sunny and mild but not hot, those days are right in your wheelhouse with highs of 78 and 83. Then a little on the warm side. We're all going to find out together if our air conditioning works on Saturday with a forecast high of 90, close to a record high for May 11th. Slightly cooler on Sunday and Monday. They're just a little uncertain about what the weather is going to be by the time we get to Monday and Tuesday. And that's it for us. Have yourself a great Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.